we've done right now, and you guys have been perfect. You got your eyes up here, you're paying attention. A couple seventh graders we had to wait on right there, girls, but other than that, you guys did a pretty good job. Have got a jam-packed, we've got a couple talents. I think we've got 2 or 3, maybe 4 videos, and then a phenomenal guest speaker today that I think you guys are going to be fired up when we get him up here on stage. But we'll start off with our jokes. You're going to introduce yourself, tell what class, and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Anthony from the 6th grade. And if Miley Cyrus gets a job at McDonald's, what do you think her boss is going to say? I'm sorry, it just ain't twerking out.
Hi, my name is Justin Walsh from the 7th grade. Why did the street light turn red? 'Cause you would too if you had change in the middle of the street.
Hey, I'm Brooke Packard and I'm from the 8th grade. And my joke of the week
Probably one of the best ways to help that partner out who's talking is not to turn and shush them, but is to just get your eyes and ears up here where they need to be, and then they'll notice that you're not paying attention to them. Dakota Morgan, get up, get out of your seat, and move to the back right there by Mr. Moulton, please. Eyes up here.
Hey, I'm Brooke Packard. I'm from the 8th grade. And my joke of the week is, why don't aliens have doorbells on their spacecrafts? Because they want to win the Nobel Prize.
I think we found a winner pretty quick like today. Congratulations, 7th grade. All right, 2 talents today. The first one I want to introduce, Dasani Levy. Give her a round of applause.
I've got my sister, I can't feel her now. She may not be here, but she's still mine, I know. I know that she still loves me. I've got my children, I can't hold them now. They may not be here, but they still mine. I hope they know I still love them. I got my house, it still keeps the cold out. I got my chair when my body can't hold out. I got my hands doing good like they're supposed to, showing my heart to the folks that I'm close to. I've got my eyes, though they don't see as far now. They see more how that thing take a deep breath. I'm gonna hold my head up. I'ma put my shoulders back and look you straight in the eye. Gonna flirt with somebody. When they walk by, I'm gonna sing out. I believe I have inside of me everything I need to live a bountiful life with all love inside of me. I'll stand as tall as the tallest tree. But most of all, I'm thankful for loving who I really am. I'm beautiful, yes, you're beautiful. And I'm here.
Thank you, Dasani. Great job. Second talent of the day, want to bring out Cameron Caffey, and he has a group. Welcome them on out. Come on out, Cameron. You need this one too?
Huh? You forgot what? Oh, yeah.
I don't like this anymore. I've changed my mind. Get their attention before we go.
All right, tell them the song. Tell them the song. Tell them the song name. Did you already announce the song?
We're singing Rolling in the Deep by Adele.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out, and I'll lay your ship bare. See how I leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch, and it's bringing me out the dark. Scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. Scars of your love, they leave me breathless. We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hand when you played it to the beat. Baby, I have no story to be told, but I've heard one on you, and I'm gonna make your head burn. Think of me in the depths of your despair. Make a home down there, as a man sure won't be shared.
The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we
We could have had it all, rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hand, and you played it to the beat. Could have had it all, rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hand, and you played it with a beat. Throw your soul through every open door. Count your blessings, so find what you look for. Turn my sorrow into treasured gold. And way me back in time and reap just what you sow. We could have had it all. We could have had it all. It all, it all, it all. We could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hand, and you played it to the beat. Could have had it all. Rolling in the deep. You had my heart inside your hand, and you played it, you played it, you played it, you played it to the beat.
Hey.
We got some talent here, don't we? Give them another round of applause. Two great groups today. Awesome job, Waller. Awesome support out here. We've talked about a bunch. We've talked about talent a bunch. And these guys have some talents. A lot of you guys have some different talents, whether it's academically, different subject areas, athletically. The thing I want to point out, I know about this last group, and I don't know if some of you younger guys have seen it. Maybe some of you seventh graders have seen it. They've put a lot of time and effort practicing. Every day almost out in the hallways they're out there practicing. They've had some talent, but how have they nurtured and developed that talent? Spending a lot of time and effort developing those things. And a lot of you guys have been doing that in your classroom. That's been a constant focus all year long, but just want to bring your attention to this last group because I've seen them out there almost every day. I've got a couple videos for you and we'll just roll those at this time. Want to continue to just bring your attention to that digital citizenship aspect of this. Just a personal story right now. I know what we're going through at the end of the year, and whether it's when we hire people, when we hire teachers, when we hire staff here, one of the things we do, I promise you, is we're going to look at their online resume. And what I'm not talking about is the resume that they've created and turned in. I'm talking about the resume that they've created by being online, by being on their social media sites, whether that's Facebook, whether that's Twitter, whether that's Instagram, whether all these social media things, we're going to do a Google search. We're going to search these people out and see how they've handled their lives in that digital that digital area. There's people that we do not hire because of what they've posted online, what comments made, how they've put themselves out there. So I just want to caution you guys, anytime you put something out there online, you are building your resume and somebody's going to look that up one day. So make sure if it's something that you're posting, it's something that you're proud of. Another video for you.
Me and my friend, we were having a sleepover, and so we were chatting with our friend on the computer. We're talking about personal stuff and you know, things, because we didn't think that anyone else would see, because, you know, it's on our email. We have a password, right, so no one can see. And we said some inappropriate things, and then her dad, he was on her email, and he came upon the chat that we were on. And then he emailed the chat that we had to my mom. My mom was asking me, like, why I would say that stuff, and yeah, I mean, I still don't really know why. I probably wouldn't say that in person because it's, you know, it's inappropriate, and I knew that. If you're talking to someone in person, you're, you know, face to face, and then you're actually having a real conversation. It's easier to experiment online. It seems like it is your diary in a way, because you think you have a password and it's secret, but it's not secret, and people can get in and look at your stuff. I think you'd think that it goes away, you just press, oh, delete, you know, then, oh, not on my plate anymore. You know, maybe no one will see it publicly, but I think that people can see it. I don't think it actually goes away forever. Stuff online is not private. Anyone can find out, you know, even if it was the person who I was chatting right next to, or if it was the person who I was chatting wherever they are, they can show someone else. They could print it out. Like, you do have to be careful.
Thanks, Coach Miller and your video group. Hey, if there's anybody, whether it's 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, has experience with iMovies and embedding songs on them, would you get with Coach Miller, please? And then she'll put some music to that next time. I want to introduce our guest speaker for the week this week. I think it's somebody most of you know. If not, you're going to get to know him. Mr. Brett Barnes, come on up here, please.
Hey, what's up, Waller? There's Miss Miller. I can put a little music to that iMovie, so I can also delete some things. I'm going to intro a little video of some things that have been going on in my class. I apologize to those students who are actually in my class. I had this video all made out. Anyway, as I was saying, I had every single one of my students in that video in some way or another, and then being the iMovie rookie editor, I hit the wrong button and, well, deleted it. And so at the last minute, I had to throw a couple more pictures in there and, well, complete the video. But anyway, a couple weeks back after I found out that I was voted Waller's Teacher of the Year, someone, I think, jokingly said to me, "Mr. Barnes, you're going to be a guest speaker at one of the assemblies." And I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm never going to do that. And then after I thought about it, I said, yeah, why not? What the heck? So I went to Mr. Beauchamp and I said, yeah, I'll do that. And to start this off, I want to give you a list of some of my most memorable moments of kindergarten through 12th grade. And most of these are some first. So after I give this, I'll give a couple of things that affected me, really what I want to focus in on. When I was in 7th grade and when I was in 9th grade, a couple of things happened to me. Nothing big, and probably won't really seem big to you, but a couple of things happened to me that set me up for the rest of my life. But anyway, kindergarten, I got sent to the office for the first time. The man who would eventually be the best man in my wedding picked his nose, stuck it on his finger, and we were running around Mrs. Beams's class in Hennessy, America. 1st grade, I missed my first spelling word. I can still remember it like it was yesterday. The word was brown. I can still remember I put 2 O's in the word instead of 1, but I think the reason it had the most impact on me is because my teacher, Mrs. New, if you got 100 on your spelling test, she gave you one of those little bitty candy bars. I didn't get one that week. I was mesmerized. 2nd grade, we had something called, I'm not for sure, but they were called CRAs, where we had to do these little reading activities, short 1 or 2 page reading deals. And I got last in the class. 3rd grade, another spelling word. We had a spelling contest or a spelling bee every year. I got out on the first word. Once again, I remember the word. It had an impact on me. The word was antique. 4th grade, I was the lead in our school play. Hennessy Elementary is kindergarten through 4th. And the 4th grade, being the bigwigs of the elementary, they got to put on the play. I was the lead. And so that was pretty cool. 5th grade, I got to play football for the first time. 6th grade, believe it or not, I tackled my own teammate. But what I didn't tell you, he picked up a fumble. He got twisted around. He did like a 540. He twisted 360 and then another half and took off running the wrong way. I went and ran him down. 7th grade, what I'll talk about here in just a minute, a couple of things happened to me. I got benched athletically. I got kicked out of a sporting event. I had my first B in class, and I actually lost my first competitive race. 8th grade, I got a big award, or at least what I thought it was big to me. I got a Student of the Day award. 9th grade, I took a class while I was enrolling, and I had one class to fill. I had an elective, and so I took, and I don't even think they have this here at Waller anymore, home ec. The teacher was fresh out of college, and I thought she was kind of cute. 10th grade, we were at Clinton playing baseball. The first professional scout that talked to me introduced himself to me that day. He was from the San Diego Padres. 11th grade, something that you guys are totally used to now, is we got the internet at our school in 11th grade. And 12th grade, I got my first C. I kind of took the last 9 weeks of my senior year off. But anyway, that's my list. 2 things I wanted to talk to you a little bit about today is a couple of things that impacted my life. One being in the 7th grade that I mentioned to you a little bit, and I got benched. It was athletically. I will share a academic one here in just a second. But 7th grade, first of the year, playing football, I got benched. And before that, I pretty much got to play anything I wanted to. I shouldn't say anything I wanted to. I got to play, and I didn't really have to work hard at it. I guess you could say my parents gave me some natural, God-given genetics or talent, and it came easy. I didn't have to work hard. And what a lot of guys were doing that I wasn't doing, specifically in the summer, while I was sitting on my rear, usually in an air-conditioned tractor, they were out working their tails off. They were out making themselves better, and I was just sitting there. And so that had a major impact on me, and one of the reasons why is I thought I had to live up to the expectations of my dad. See, my dad, he was a pretty good athlete. And I don't know if you called it a shrine or what, but growing up, he had this place on the wall in our house and had him and his all-state this, all-state that, had him, some of his OU memorabilia, him and his OU uniform and all that. And growing up the whole, previous seventh grade, however old I would be, 13, I thought I had to be as good as him. I had to live up to those expectations because I would be out anywhere and I'd introduce myself and then my dad would be there and one of his friends would have to tell me some funny story about him growing up and how gifted, I guess, he actually was. I don't know where Miss Stovall is in here, but one of the last days that we had a professional development, which is when the teachers had to be here, but you didn't, I went out to eat with Miss Stovall, and her husband was sitting across the table, and her husband went to the same school as my dad, and he was 6 or 7 years younger than my dad, and I introduced myself to him, and he's like, "Oh, are you Crazy Leg Barnes' son?" And I was like, what are you talking about? I haven't heard that story before. But make a long story short, my dad was gifted, and I thought, growing up, I had to be as good as him. I thought, you know what? If I'm not as good as him, people are going to look down on me. And so when I got benched in the 7th grade, I can remember being bummed out. I can remember one day, I actually got on my bike, and I just rode around town. I lived in Hennessy. I rode it around town. Seemed like forever, I don't know. But I rode around and rode around. My dad actually got a little concerned with me. So he went out looking for me. He knew I was supposed to be home. I regularly would have been. He came out looking for me. And I can still remember he and I having the talk that night when he explained to me how one time he got benched and how things did not come easy to him. See, when he was growing up, he had obviously a lot different life than me. He worked his tail off all summer. You guys probably know nothing about hauling hay, or many of you don't know anything about hauling hay, but when my dad was growing up, he didn't lift a lot of weights. He hauled hay. I can remember him telling me the story. He and a bunch of his buddies, they'd haul 30,000 square bales during a summer. There's no reason to go to the weight room if you're working out all day. But the point is this, I can still remember getting benched, and it had a big impact on me, and I had to make a decision. Well, do I want to be mediocre the rest of my life, or do I want to do something about it? And so while those guys, when I wasn't working hard, they were working hard, I can still remember it. It took me a couple years to actually catch up with them as far as athletic-wise. It took me a long time to catch up with them, or at least seemed like a long time with me. As far as academic-wise, a lot of things came easy to me as well. I mean, if I can remember one word I missed in 1st grade, that had a major impact on me. I can still remember the first word, or getting out on the first word of the spelling bee in 3rd grade. And so a lot of things came easy to me academically as well. And so when I got into 9th grade, I started struggling. Not that I was failing like 60 and below, but I started struggling in a biology class. Up to that point, I'm going to be honest with you, I never studied. I got A's and B's simply by paying attention in class, getting all my homework done, but I never had to actually open a book and study. And so, not that I was failing F-wise, but to me, I was failing because I wasn't living up to my expectations. And so, 9th grade, I had to figure out how to study. And that seems weird, but I never had to work at it until then. And so that was one thing that affected me academically. And it also, I had another time in college. When I went to college, I didn't have to study a lot in high school up until then. When I got to college, I had another eye-awakening moment. I had to learn to study some more. So two things that affected me athletically and academically were two times that maybe a lot of you would consider it failing, but to me, I wasn't living up to my own expectations that I set for myself. I thought I should be playing. Well, did I deserve to play? Was I the best? No, I wasn't. I had to do something about it. It took me 2 years to catch up with those guys because I sat on my rear all up until that point. There's a few people here in my classes. Obviously, I don't have very many of you, but there's a few people in my classes that are kind of reminding me. One is in my third hour. I have a young man in there. I'm not going to mention his name, but I know a lot of things are coming easy to this young man in here. And I can't see him, but I'm sure he's here. I had him in class today. And I've noticed this year that when he is challenged, he really doesn't know how to respond to that. And so sometime in the near future, this guy is going to have to ask himself, because I think he has high expectations, what am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about it? Because when he gets pushed, when he gets challenged, I see him not responding well. And the other person is also in my third hour. This is an enriched eighth grade class. Things don't come naturally to her. Things don't come easy to her. And I had her in 6th grade. I had her 7th grade, and I had her this year in 8th grade. I can tell she's not failed on the AF scale, but she has some expectations that she has set towards herself. And if she wants to meet those, she's going to have to work her tail off. Now, this young man and this young lady that I'm talking about, they both have about the same grade. The young lady's working her tail off to get that grade, and the young man, it's coming easy to him. Now, if you had to ask me, how are these two going to be in 4 years, 10 years from now? Well, I bet that they will both be successful, but one of them has already, metaphorically speaking, failed, and she's had to figure out how to meet those expectations for herself. And the young man, he's just now getting pushed. I bet next year he'll be challenged more, and he's going to have to figure that out as well. A couple of kids from my 6th hour class. In this class, for lack of better terms, a bunch of knuckleheads in that class. There is one boy in there. He's gifted. Things come easy to him. He does not have to work hard. He, in my opinion, he's letting himself down because he has a natural talent of things like school coming easy to him. He's not living up to my expectations. In my opinion, he could be top student in the class. Now, what I'm getting ready to say, maybe a little bit personal, but there's only one other person in this room that knows what I'm talking about, and if he wants to talk about this later, he can do that, but not now. I was having a parent-teacher conference with this guy's mom and him, and I flat out told that kid, I said, you know what? You're a natural-born leader. People look at you. People follow you. He is leading some of his peers in a way that I wouldn't recommend. He has a lot of people's eyes on him, but he's not leading them down the right road. He could actually be valedictorian if we had a valedictorian here. He could, with just a little bit of work, could have valedictorian or be the valedictorian of that 7th grade bunch over there. And then I got another kid in the 7th grade class. He faces many challenges in here that none of you could even dream about. When he leaves at 3:30, he has a lot on his plate, so to speak. And this kid at the first of the year, he was struggling. And he was somewhere right around that actual 60 failing mark. And I don't know what has happened to him, but he, for some reason, has turned himself around, And if I was given some award today, like Most Improved or whatever award, he would be the first award that I would give something out to. This young man, I think he's got it figured out now. I think he's figured out that there's a lot of people here that care about him and care about his education. I think he's figured out that he can trust some of the teachers and some of the faculty here today. And I'm not going to tell you his name today, but at the end of the year, I am going to, unless things drastically change, I'm going to give this young man an award. And I think he'll be shocked that I call him up here. Is he an AB student? No. But he has grown probably more than any student that I have seen grow since I've been at Waller. But point is this, things came easy to me for a while, and then I failed. Now, did I fail in some of your expectations? No, but in my expectations, I failed. And there was a couple of those things that I shared, one being academically, one being athletically, that made me realize that I can't just sit around and expect school to come easy. I can't just sit around and expect to be a good athlete. I can't just sit around and expect to be a good student. I'm going to have to do something about it. I'm going to have to put some extra work in, some extra time. And so I guess I'll leave you with this. I assume all of you have some sort of expectation that you have set toward yourself. And I don't know if it's a high expectation or not. But I think in order for everybody, each one of us to truly experience success, I think there needs to be some point in your academic life, some point in your, if you are an athlete, athletic life, or whatever extracurricular part you're involved in. I think there needs to be a point where you actually see a little failure, experience a little bit of failure, to quote unquote give you a wake-up call to truly see what you're made of. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Those two things in my life, they may seem ridiculous to you, but they were a couple of things that I really remember like they were yesterday, that told me that things aren't going to come easy. When you get a bit of adversity, how are you going to respond? So I'll leave you with this. Last time I came up here, I got to say, go Waller, go Eagles. So I will end with this. We are Waller! Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Is there any doubt in this guy is amazing, isn't he? Give another round of applause. Mr. Barnes, I appreciate you more every day. Thank you for talking to us today. Thank you for sharing your story. Couple takeaways from that for me. Hopefully you got a couple takeaways. The takeaways I got from that is the question he asked himself. The question maybe we need to ask ourselves every time we come across that experience, whether it's good, bad, ugly. And the question that sticks with me from that is, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? I can control me. I can control my effort. I can control my attitude. What am I going to do about it? The people that we've seen experience that success are the people that address it in that way. The people that come across those hurdles and those roadblocks and don't get across them is because they're looking for somebody else. What is my teacher going to change? What is my mom going to change? What is my principal going to change? What are these other people going to change? You can control you. What am I going to do about it? So thank you for that takeaway from me. I honestly believe, guys, if you want more, you have to be willing to make yourself worth more. So great testimony, and thank you again. At this time, we've got a little brief closing. Stuco hasn't got to do this. I don't know if they've ever got to do this. NJHS has kind of been whipping their tail on every competition they've had so far from this year. But they had a little competition for March of Dimes, and we'll let them come out here and share with you real quick.
NJHS challenged the student council to the penny war, and student council won with $329, and NJHS had $254. So the bet was the winning team got to do the losers' hair and makeup, but we were good sports and let them do some of our hair. So we're gonna go backstage and get our person that we did, and we'll be right back.
James Shoemaker, when we're done here, you need to go to the office to check out. And I think Emily, if you're backstage, Emily Tanner, if you can hear me, you're going to check out as well. So James, Emily, as soon as we're finished. Wow. Wow. Ta-da! Hey, phenomenal job. I don't know if you heard it again this morning. School record, all-time high of money raised, and I think we're at the $1,500 mark, and I don't know if Mrs. Baker, if we got over the $1,600 mark. I think money was still coming in and still being collected today, so awesome job last couple weeks on the penny war, raising that money. It's going to go for a great cause. If you don't know for sure, you seek out Mr. Stogsdale. He'll prove it to you. So thank you again. Appreciate your guys' time and effort organizing that stuff. Emily, you get to wear that makeup to the office. You're checking out. At this time, we're going to dismiss those 8th grade teachers. You 8th graders, you need to get back to class. You got a lot on your plate, and we'll dismiss 7th and 6th grade.